we welcome you to this wonderful day, which is finally the day of groundbreaking ceremonies for our new up-and-coming courthouse. We are very pleased today to see all of these of you who are here, and we thank you for being part of this ceremony.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
What a historic day. We're very blessed by God by giving us such beautiful weather, and also just to have you with us today on this very monumental day for us. Again, this journey started long before. For decades, people talked about a courthouse. It's been mumbled around the courthouse. Judges has always made sure that they made the commissioners as well as the judge in prior administrations and our current administration on the greatest need of this courthouse. And this is for all of you, all you judges, all your staff, and the 2,500 residents that come here every day, whether to work or do business in our courthouse. We want to acknowledge very key people in this effort. Again, this has been many years. Back before I was a commissioner, I remember the planning stages, and everyone here, sitting here before us, had every part to do with what was going to be this future courthouse. I also want to acknowledge ERO and HDR and all of their subcontractors as well as their teams who really came together and made sure that they took part and made sure that they stayed within what was our goals. Our goals was always to make sure that we built what we need and that we could do it with the respect to the taxpayers. We also want to acknowledge L&G engineers, who was paramount in coming together and really kind of focusing on off-site utilities. Estrada Hinojosa, they were our financial advisors. They did a lot of work through the years, making sure that we were right on par when addressing the finances. Our partners in Jacobs, our project managers, commendation to that group. They really rolled up their sleeves and they respected the will of the court as well as all the judges, and to make sure that we could deliver such a project. The Morganti group, Brian and all of his staff, thank you very much. We really appreciate you. We see you very dedicated to this project, and we appreciate all the work done to date. We look forward to working alongside with you and seeing this project come into fruition. The Hidalgo County Executive Office, the budget and purchasing. Obviously, there's a lot that goes on to what is going to be one of the biggest projects that Hidalgo County is ever going to undertake. Public Relations Department, thank you very much. If you hadn't seen the piece, Jackie had produced a piece. It's on YouTube. This is the time. Really explains the real need and why. And I thought that they did a really great job, and they're always behind the scenes, but I definitely want to thank them. Our partners, the legislative delegation. They really worked hard for us these last few years to make sure that we had the civil court filing fee that's going to help us in financing this courthouse. Annually, we're looking at about raising about $1.5 million through the term of the life of the note. It's going to be about $45 million, which is it's going to be very helpful. So Senator Chewy and all the legislative delegation, thank you very much for being our partner. We want to acknowledge TxDOT and the MPO. As Vice Chairman, we understood that this project is beyond the footprint of the building. It's all of the square and its access as well. We presented this project to the MPO a couple years ago, and we were beneficiaries of $20 million. That's going to be taking care of a lot of the drainage infrastructure needs of the area. We also want to acknowledge our city leaders here at Edinburgh. It's been a partnership nonetheless. It started years ago, and I want to congratulate past administrations, current administrations. Along the way, we're finding our way through the weeds to work together. This is important beyond just the heart. This is the heart of the city. This is also the heart of the county, and I want to thank them for looking beyond everything to find a way to continue to be a partner with us. Now, this project has had a lot of needs. I mean, it's undisputed. When this courthouse was built, the one we see right now, it's built in 1954. At that time, it was 70,000 square feet. It served a population of 168,000 people. Since then, to date, it's currently grown up to about 111,000 square feet. It hosts 24 judicial courts and serves about 1 million people now. Only 17 courts are inside this courthouse right now. 5 are in modular buildings and 2 are off-site. So obviously there is a dire need, and you don't have to look far. We see the valley's growing really fast, and Hidalgo County is at the cusp of growing and continue to grow. And this new courthouse is going to be able to serve not just the current need, but the future needs of our county. With every project, there's always a champion. And in this case, it takes, going through all the years, there's no one that's been more diligent with this project than our county judge, Ramon Garcia. For every year of his service for Hidalgo County, he's kept this project to heart. And along with our judges, he's really made it a mission to accomplish and get us to this point. He's the reason, and his leadership, along with the commissioners, we got to pay tribute. We really do, because as I said, in the history of Hidalgo County, now 166 years, this is the largest project we're undertaking to date. And one of the goals that the judge has always set as a precursor, that it would not affect our taxpayer. Having said that, this last year in 2017, he made it a goal to say we're not only going to address the courthouse needs, but we're going to find a way to reduce the tax rate and make sure that we give the benefit back to the taxpayers. So we were successful last year, and I want to thank the judge for leading in that manner and that effort. So without further ado, I really would like to bring up the man of the hour, Judge Ramon Garcia, to share his remarks. Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you for the very kind introduction. Well, good morning. Man, what a beautiful day in our valley. I was looking at the history behind our courthouses here in the county. As you know, Texas became a state in 1848. At that time, a county seat was in the city of Hidalgo. That's where we constructed our first courthouse. But then, because we were next to the river, the flood started happening, and a decision had to be made to move the courthouse, and they decided to move it to the center of the county at the time, which was a town called Chapin, which is now our Edinburgh. We moved on, and that 1910 structure served us until 1954, when this new facility that was at the time was constructed, and it served us well. It has served us well for the last 64 years. However, our county has grown. We're going to find out right after the 2020 census that we're going to have over 1 million population here in this county. We now have 25 courts. We're constructing this facility to allow for future growth. We all understand and recognize and appreciate the need for this new facility. You've elected some people that believe in this facility, that believe that in the future growth of our county. I've enjoyed working with the commissioners. They're a very knowledgeable group, very independent-minded, and I'm glad to see that they accepted and understood and appreciated the need for this facility. And one person that hardly ever really gets thanked, but he had a tremendous amount of energy and was very helpful in getting us to this point, and that is our executive officer, Mr. Valdeguerra. He's a guy that everybody loves to hate. They always point to him, but he has made it. He has accommodated us in our venture, and I'm very thankful for Valde and his efforts, and I want to make sure we properly thank him. Lastly, I hope to be back in 2021 with all of you, and we can take a tour of this new facility. Thank you very much.
I really want to thank County Judge Ramon Garcia for his unwavering commitment to his new courthouse. He was focused. He never got distracted. He knew what he needed to do to get this project started. For us in the legislature, it's very important to have a courthouse because that is the center of county business, a county government. People come to the courthouse to get the birth certificate, to get the marriage certificate, sometimes to pay the taxes, to come and see the judges, jury service, but also just as important is safety. Many times we forget about our judges. Our judges is a third equal branch of government, and they deserve to have a place where they can work, being secure and safe. They try criminal cases and civil cases. In criminal cases, you always have defendants who are being accused of heinous crimes, and you need to make sure that we have a courthouse that be able to provide the security and safety that not only our judges need, but the general public in terms of when they're involved in doing business with the courthouse. The other issue that is very important that we also have the prosecutors, the district attorney's office. They work on the courthouse every day. And what I see with this courthouse that we presently have is many times walking down the hall, sharing space with prisoners that are handcuffed. That is really an unsafe environment. And when I see the courthouses statewide, I can tell you that the cost and maintenance of this courthouse that we presently have is so high that we are actually saving money on a long-term basis by having a new courthouse. So for me, when people ask me, well, why do we need a new courthouse? Well, you ought to come and work here every day, like some of you all do, and see the challenges and the problems we face. So we on the state side, we have done everything possible to provide extra funding through different fees and different filing fees to make sure that it becomes a reality. The courthouse is the pride of a county. The courthouse is what makes our community whole. The courthouse holds us all together. The courthouse is the key to government at our county level. And for that, I'm just very proud to thank the Commissioners Court, also different commissioners. I know there were people that were pushing back because they really don't understand the importance and the role of our judges, the role the courthouse plays in the community. I also want to thank the judges because I know that the judges are very instrumental in making the changes come about. And one more point, it's pretty interesting. I heard the judge says that 1/3 floor or one full floor would be available for new courts. I've created every single new court, county court and district court, since 1980. I carried legislation. Many people don't know that. But every single court since 1980 has been created by me at the request of judges and the county commissioners. To take care of our judges, take care of the people, take care of our taxpayers and those who use our courthouse. Thank you very much. May God bless you. I hope to be here also in 2021 to dedicate the new courthouse. And again, thank you, Judge Ramon Garcia, for your leadership in making this a reality.
Many of you know me not only from the city and schools, but also from what we call politics. And whether you appreciated what happened or not, more people voted than ever before. That tells me what has been going on in our jury pools that the judges observe every week is not a fluke. People are getting more involved. They are getting a hold of more information. And I share, Judge, every time I do impaneling, I share with the panels, and I asked our fellow judges to do the same, the importance of the building of a new courthouse. And I share with them that it is not about the judges. It's about what the judges represent, and that is the idea that we are trying to find truth and justice. I mentioned that I grew up just a few blocks from here, but the reason that I get a little choked up is because I was not allowed in there. And it wasn't that I wasn't allowed because they blocked me from going over there, but no one told me what that was. We weren't educated in the importance of the courthouse until I started seeing and talking to my friends. And so what I'd like to do is share with you what has happened, what Ramon Garcia has brought to the table. He brought to the table years of experience, just like Senator Hinojosa and many of those of you that have been in the practice of law for years. And they brought to the table the very idea that we share with juries of all things as to how to find justice. And then you don't forget that the final decision is only after deliberating with your fellow lawmakers. Commissioners have to talk to each other, and that's what they've done. And the judge has participated in making sure this was going on. Now, I'd be remiss to mention that the courthouse is placed in the center of a city historically because the courthouse represents the rule of law, and that is what people strive in a free society, the rule of law. And if you don't understand what it means, go to any city, even the largest cities nowadays. They revitalize downtown because that's the heart. That's what keeps the city pumping, the city moving forward. But I applaud you, Judge. I applaud you for everything you've done. He's interested in what he's talking about, and that is the county being the center of the valley, not Hidalgo County, of the valley. We are beginning to address the needs. We're not interested in patching things up like we've done for years. We're trying to meet the needs of the future. The words that I'm sharing with you are not coming only from me. They're coming from every single judge that I see here today and those that couldn't be here today, and the appellate justices that signed off. We did sign off on making sure that everybody understood that we supported the building of the courthouse. We've been asking for it for years. Those of you that that are here, thank you so much for listening to my words and applauding for Judge Garcia. And I'm going to ask that you please, You know, Judge, we may not have this chance to do it again. I'm going to ask that everyone stand up and clap for you.
I'm really excited for all of you judges and all of you in the different departments that work at the courthouse, that you're finally going to get the courthouse that you deserve, that was, like Judge said, was needed for so many years. This was a need. This wasn't a want. So congratulations to all the staff, every single individual that uses a courthouse. I mean, a lot of times we think about courthouses for criminals. How about all the victims, which I think Judge Ricky Rod has always done a great job of talking about the victims. The victims use the courthouse too. Unfortunately, and not planned, that's not what they wanted. They didn't want to be in a courthouse, and so those individuals are going to have a beautiful courthouse. We did it with, like they say, without raising taxes. We even lowered our tax rate a cent during this process, and I know you see a $150 million project. I mean, look at all the different entities that surround us, that when they have $150 million worth of needs, they have to raise taxes. And we did this without raising taxes, so I'm really proud of this court, the senator for helping us with that, our staff. I don't know how many times I've seen Sergio Cruz, you know, with his notebook out, trying to figure out how we're going to make this happen. You did a hell of a job, Sergio. Of course, Valde, like they said, I think that's a perfect name, the man that people love to hate. And they love to hate him because he has to make the tough decisions. You know, he has, más o menos, about 44 elected people to handle. I mean, I think that just 5 personalities on the court is enough, but he has a lot of people, a lot of egos, and egos are good. Egos are what got us to this position. And so how about an applause for Valde? Judge, we did this without raising taxes, and we also did this very, very transparent. The judge was really big on being transparent. I wanted to go a little bit faster, and the judge wanted to be ultra transparent. But we got to this day with great leadership. You know, to build this thing, we emphasized to our program manager and our contractor that we wanted to keep a lot of the work local, and I'm happy to say that 51% of this project will be built by locals. We emphasize local. We emphasize local with our architects. We did that. Laura Warren's in the audience. Of course, ERO and HDR has been mentioned. So we did the job. We did the job of keeping this project as local as possible. Not all popular decisions are right, and not all right decisions are popular. So I want to congratulate the court and the judge for making this happen, and y'all have a beautiful day.
So one of the things that I was thinking about, and we talk about safety and we talk about the need of this courthouse and so many wonderful words that have been set up here today, but I want to share a story from about 20 years ago. And I was selected to serve on a jury panel or a jury for a trial related to a gang member, involuntary manslaughter, or something along those lines. And we're sitting in this very sensitive trial. And every day we were walking in and out, and of course, they travel in packs. You know, there were a lot of family and friends there for this gentleman that was on trial. And I always felt like we were threatened. We always felt like we were in a situation where we weren't safe. And I know that the purpose of this building is to provide the growth necessary for the expansion and the new courts that we anticipate. But it's also to serve our constituents in a better way, not only with the things that the transactions that occur on a day-to-day basis. But I remember at the end of that trial when we handed down the verdict, we had to be escorted to our cars. That's how bad it was. This courthouse is necessary. This courthouse is necessary to answer or provide solutions like that. The things that we need to keep our constituents safe, for justice to be served, for all of our employees to work in an environment where they feel safe and can do their job most effectively. That is why we're here. A lot of what we talked about when we first walked in, I'm guarantee you everybody said, what a beautiful day. Literally and figuratively, because it is we couldn't have asked for better weather. We couldn't have asked for a better environment today. But what a great day for what symbolically we are doing here, which is we're celebrating the past, rightfully behind us, and looking forward to the future, which is right here next to us. Also laying the foundation, literally and figuratively. We can't do anything, we can't build upon anything without a solid foundation. And that is what I'm most grateful for. As I walked into a court environment almost 2 years ago, led by Judge Garcia, and what fantastic commissioners that I work with on an everyday basis that support each other, not only on projects like this, but every day. In the things that we do in delivering service to our constituents, we have to work together. And they have taken me under their wing and given me such tremendous guidance. And they've provided me so much information along with all the other team members that we've celebrated here today and mentioned by name earlier. We can't establish a foundation without support like that. God bless all of you for being here. God bless Hidalgo County. We're looking forward to a successful completion of this project. And thank you for celebrating with us here today. Thank you.